Have you ever put your heart and soul into something only to feel that you weren't acknowledged or appreciated? I'm guilty of feeling unappreciated. I mean, why can't drivers say thank you when you let them in? The final straw for me, though, was when I was leading a multidisciplinary team on a groundbreaking project in July, over a 2-year period. In July 2012, we pulled off a stunning launch. The disappointing thing was that my superiors failed to recognise it was due to a different way of leading. Engage, clarify, navigate. Their persistent undermining of this way of working led me to the insights that I'm going to share with you today. For too long, we have heard senior executives assert our people are our greatest asset. What my bosses showed me yet again was that they thought their own contributions and views were far more valuable. I had found another toxic workplace where command and control management style was failing to get the best out of employees. This was the catalyst for me to go on a journey, a multi-year journey of exploration. I enrolled in a succession of personal development and business programs, cost a fortune. In turn, I coached and mentored CEOs and executives, and over this time, the insights that I gained proved to me it is possible to create happy workplaces where employees thrive. Would you like to know how? What I confirmed was that engage, clarify, navigate is how you set up for employees to thrive. Research by Gallup, a global expert in employee engagement, shows that teams with very high levels of engagement and organisations outperform in critical areas such as productivity plus 23%, safety incidents 64% fewer, and absenteeism 8% lower. The question for you and I as leaders is this: are we doing what it takes to achieve these really high levels of engagement? Across the globe, high levels of uncertainty means expectations of leaders' engagement are intensifying. Are you ready to deal with this reality? At a board meeting in October 2018, the CEO resigned. After some soul searching, I agreed to step in as interim. I inherited an organisation struggling to deal with industry disruption, turning over more than $30 million but making losses, employing almost 400 people who are fearful and uncertain. I always did love a challenge. I was about to use engage, clarify, navigate where the stakes were very high. 3 months into my role, an employee, Fran, was causing friction. Fran was occupying rent-free space in my brain. Have you had someone take up too much space in your head? I was hearing secondhand about her my way or the highway approach. I also was aware of her unrealistic expectations in regards to her role, courtesy of the previous CEO. The way I engaged was going to be important. We met. As we sat and talked, I had this overwhelming sense of her unhappiness. Fran, before we go any further, can I just say how unhappy I feel you are? That doesn't sit well with me, and I'd like to know what we can do about it. Fran welled up. We talked a little more. but she said she wanted to go away and have a think about our conversation. I had started off thinking I was dealing with a role clarity issue, but I'd uncovered much more. Have you had times when you've jumped to solutions and conclusions before you fully understood the problem? A concise and a patient, engage, clarify, navigate approach didn't stop the feelings of pure exasperation. There was one memorable time when I was talking with my coach and I burst out, "You can't performance manage, stupid." Well, we laughed. I don't know if you've ever had such a thought go through your head, but we laughed and went on to look at some different strategies that I could use to deal with my frustrations. Consistency and persistence in using engage, clarify, navigate saw us take an organisation that was underperforming to one that was thriving, as well as a complete turnaround in financial performance. In the middle of COVID-19, our employee survey results came in and engagement was a stunning 85%. It was a fabulous validation of the approach that we were taking. Across the globe, people's expectations of their leaders are intensifying. Are you ready to deal with this approach? I would like to now go into the 3 steps in a little more detail. Step 1, engage. Engage means we need to experiment. We need to find different ways of working with someone. Use different formats and venues, encouraging a feeling of safety so that people feel comfortable to tell you what matters to them and what's really going on. Common understanding is very important. Building trust takes time. It can't be sped up. Step 2 is clarify. There is an old saying, assume makes an ass of you and me. Very often true. Stay curious. Enjoy the questions. Relish in the pushback. What you will find is that you're building a lot of common understanding. Agreement isn't important. Understanding is essential. I've had many people take action that they didn't originally support because their original disagreement was acknowledged. Step 3, navigate. You've probably heard of a very famous yacht race, Sydney to Hobart. At the outset, the goal is clear. The yacht is set, the crew on board. What is less certain is the weather, the conditions, the currents, the other competitors. The crew members may get sick or injured. It will require constant navigation and adjustment. And yes, circling back to engage and clarify. Engage, clarify, navigate is a circle. It's a way of working that in my 4-decade career as leader, I have found more reliable than any other approach. Globally, our challenges aren't going away. Change isn't getting any easier. Has your time come to step up? Use the engage, clarify, navigate approach and lead the way to a better future?